नहीं भेजते?
इसके सभी सवालों का जवाब है शिक्षा। और अब तो स्कूल जाना है हर बच्चे का अधिकार।
अब तो मेरा भी पढ़ना पक्का।
शिक्षा है अब हर बच्चे का अधिकार। अब पढ़ना पक्का।
Namaskar, good morning to all of you. It's a very auspicious day for today. So I welcome everybody that we are here to have some discussion with you on and about your doubts. You have sent me near about 40 questions, and in these 40 questions we are here to have a beautiful interaction with you. You have chat box. During the discussion, if you have any leading question, you can ask, no problem, because our responsibility is to take care of you. Friends, whatever may be the situation in life, we have doubts. The people who ask their questions, who tries to know and tries to clear their doubts, really they become the good learners in this society. And in this society, to be a learner, it's not so easy. Therefore, we always say, be a lifeline learner, lifetime learner. So we are here to bring you with us. Today we have a team for you, not only the Brahma sir. We have team, and first of all, I must welcome our adorable brother and principal. Srijukta Sarangi sir. Sarangi sir, you are welcome to the discussion panel today. Sir, then I will welcome Dr. Santosh Kumar Parida. So Santosh Babu, you are welcome again, and I hope that you will be very easy with us to have some discussion on the questions given by our people teachers. So I welcome you again. Then we have as a panelist, Mr. Joy Prakash from D.El.Ed Sambalpur. Joy Prakash Babu, you are welcome to the panels. Thank you. And last but not the least, our sister, our Gali Devasmita Chakra. Her smile speaks the truth, and she is a very good guy in learning English. I cannot say that he is teaching English. She is teaching English. So welcome, Devasmita. Now I will go to Sarangi sir. Sarangi sir, there is a question for you. I will start with you. The question is, what is the difference between mechanics of writing and penmanship? Basically, when we talk of writing skill, at that time, this is the basic questions come in our mind. So can you please have your discussion on that, please? Sarangi sir. Yeah, because I have just printed it and I am going serially. Yeah.
No, conto. Okay, we'll start. Okay, okay. Hello, Brahma. Am I audible to you? Hello. Okay, okay. So, okay. So, okay, okay. Welcome, young friends. Um, Penmanship and mechanics of writing. Penmanship is for the beginners, and mechanics comes at a later stage. Penmanship means the first stage of writing, how to hold the pen or pencil, how to sit, how to place the paper at a particular distance so that we can write properly, how to hold the paper, and how to write. First thing is, penmanship means learning to hold the pen or pencil properly, placing the paper at a proper distance, sitting upright posture, and writing. This is for the beginners who are learning to write. Mechanics of writing means it is the rules of written language. For example, the tense, spelling, capitalization, punctuation marks, these are the critical components of learning to write. It comes at a later stage. After learning to write ABC or words or sentences, mechanics of writing comes at a later stage. Is it okay? So penmanship for the beginner. Huh. Penmanship for the beginner. Space, words, punctuation, capitalization, spelling correctly. Yeah. Okay.
Second language.
Okay. I think this question is from out of our textbook, but it's a very good question. We learn from our experience. Everything we learn from our experience. This is learning through life experiences. Experiential learning, it is also known as EXL, capital EXL, or experiential learning. It is the process of learning through experience. This is learning through reflection on doing. What is a hands-on approach to learning? It is a hands-on approach to learning. It makes learning an experience that moves beyond the classroom. It means we have to do something, gain some experience, and apply it in our classroom. This was, it has a history of 350 BC when Aristotle for the first time said that we learn by doing them. We learn by doing them. In 1970, David A. Cole developed the modern theory of EXL, or experiential learning, basing on the works of John Dewey, Cotlin, and Jean Piaget. Well, let me give you one example. If in the classroom I will explain students about forest, they may gain some knowledge relating to forest. But if I take them to the forest, they observe, they interact with the environment. In that case, their knowledge will be much better than what knowledge I have given in the classroom theoretically. Similarly, while writing, experiential orbit in language learning, while writing, we must give some experiences to the students. They must do something. If the teacher will explain for a lot of time regarding writing in the classroom, they will not understand anything. Better allow them to be involved, let them do, let them write, and let them learn. I think this is experiential orbit.
Thank you.
You can supplement.
No problem, sir. It's all right. Thank you. Thank you, Sadangi sir. Now I will go to Dr. S. Parida, Santosh Paridaji. There is a question for you. What is cognitive, academic, and linguistic proficiency? What do you mean by that? Can you please explain?
Okay. Welcome, my dear students, for this nice program. This is very good question, very intellectual question and very understanding questions. So academic, that is also cognitive, academic, language proficiency. It is purely the academic language, my dear students. So in the academic, that means it focuses on particularly the proficiency in academic language. That means the language which is also used in the classroom process in various content. So, but another thing is also you can find that the social language, that is BICS, BICS. That means the basic interpersonal communication skill, which is the social language. In social language, that is also that is the linguistic skill. That means which language you can also explain or you are using in the context of your playground or conversation through the telephone. In that context, the social language are also being used. But in the academic, that is your cognitive academic language proficiency, purely it is based upon that is also your development of the 4 basic skills of language learning. That is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Apart from that, this is also purely depends upon the development of your analyzing, your that is also synthesizing, then evaluating, then also you are drawing the inferences. So if a child is able to do these things, then his academic language has been developed. So then he is also performed to transfer his language from one content to another content, like your mathematics, from your mathematics to then also you can jump to the language, or from the language to the science to the also geography or history. So that is also your academic language. That academic language is purely depends upon your cognitive level. That is also based upon your knowledge, understanding, and application skill. So that's why a child must have to develop that academic language.
Thank you. Thank you, Santosh Abu. I think if you discuss on that, there will be a long session on that, but it's sufficient for our people teachers. Now there is a question, what is the difference between literacy and literacy? You see, this is the question. Some have asked that literacy, it's not coming, it's in mirror approach. So what is the difference between literacy and literacy? LETTERACY and another is LITERACY. Friends, already I have discussed this, but still I just tell you. As Sri Sadangi sir has told that during penmanship, what we do, we ask the students to write the letters, how to start with strokes, etc. Right? So when a child learns different letters of the alphabet, that means A to Z, right? That development or that learning those alphabet, learning those letters of the alphabet, we call it as a literacy. That means he has to master, he has to write how to write he must know, or he must write effectively, accurately the letters. That is called literacy. But after that, when mechanics of writing come, at that time you will write a sentence, you will write paragraph, right? And that is called literacy. This is the basic difference, do not worry. And for the primary students, for the kids, we focus on literacy. After that, when he learns the alphabet, etc., learns how to frame words, we focus on literacy. So this is the basic difference. You have asked Gayatri. Then the next question is for Jaiprakash Babu. That's a question, what is Suggestopedia? Jaiprakash Babu, can you please elaborate what is Suggestopedia?
So good morning to all. As we know that there are various methods that we practice in the classroom, and during 1970s, Georgy Lozanov, he advocated the Suggestopedia. It is one of the method, and the basic principles that this method follows, that it believes in the removal of the psychological barriers, that the students face various type of psychological barrier. He has fear, he has shyness, he has anxiety, and this generally this psychological barrier, it is do not bring it brings the generally
Fear.
it don't help the students to expose himself, and in such a stage the teachers plays a major role to bring a relaxed atmosphere inside the classroom without any fear, so that the students can focus and can expose himself. And the basic principles also in Suggestopedia is music. It is the central to this method. With the creation of a musical atmosphere, language learning is easy, and the procedure is important because here the teachers plays an important role. What he do? He first distributes the handouts, then he puts on the music and begin to read the text slowly, because as we know music is the central. Then the students follow along the voice of the teacher while the music is on. Because the music is on, the teacher allows them enough time to read silently. After some time, the whole students stand and repeat with the teacher, joining their voices and the music, because the music still is there. After this musical session, the lesson pauses and silence prevails. Music is heard again. The teacher begins to read the text again at normal rate. Before that, the teacher reads, but later, after the musical session is over, the teacher reads again in a normal rate. And finally, the students close their textbooks, handouts, and listen to the teacher's reading. The teachers ask several questions in English about the text and ask them to repeat after him. In this method, no formal test is conducted. However, we should focus that listening is done, is focused on the relaxation through music. We should know that music is everything in this method, and speaking is focused on dialogue to improve communication. So finally, we conclude in Suggestopedia that relaxation of the mind is important to reduce the barrier, and music is important, and thus Suggestopedia helps the students to learn better than any other methods. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jai Prakash. In one sentence, I can say that when we talk of Suggestopedia, that is the role of the teacher, that how he will present the text or any language matter, learning matter, that people will enjoy it, whether through the music or something else, then he can learn with all comfort. Right, that is the basic concept in Suggestopedia. Now I will go to the Devasmita Chakra. You have a question, please discuss the what is silent way of teaching a language.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, my dear students. Very nice question. Okay. Whenever we are sending messages through WhatsApp, sometimes we send some emoji. Can you believe that? We understand easily whether we are happy, whether we are unhappy. So this is the same way. In silent way, the teacher doesn't speak anything, gives only clues. It may be facial expression, it may be some pictures, and through this, the power of perception, awareness, cognition, or imagination can develop. Suppose the teacher will come and draw a picture of happiness, or another picture of sad, or something else, and he will remain silent, and the student will guess that, and they will say this picture is a picture of happiness, or this is a picture of sadness, etc. And later we also extend this work, and the teacher can ask the student to write a characteristics of happiness, but through facial expression or through gesture, posture, etc. And through this, the imagination of or the creativity of a student will develop. This is the process of silent way of teaching.
Thank you, Devasmita. Another question relating to Unit 4, that is phonetics. Okay. So one of the people teachers asked that what is the difference in pronunciation or making the phonetic symbol like cock, C-O-C-K and C-O-R-K. So can you please explain in short? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Very nice question. It's a very nice question. First one is C-O-C-K. This is khak. Khak. If we transcribe this word, this is first symbol for C is K, then this is a vowel sound and long sound O, and then another K is there. That means it is a back, open and unrounded vowel. That means when we are saying khak, it is a back vowel, open, and at the same time the mouth will be unrounded. And if we pronounce khak, C-O-R-K, R will be silent. R will be silent. We know this is the frictionless continuum. If we use this R in the middle position, it will be silent. This is khak. And this time the mouth became round. So it is a half closed back vowel and the round vowel. The basic difference is in pronouncing the vowel sound. In the first one, the vowel sound is open and the mouth will be spread. And in the second one, the vowel sound will be half closed and the mouth will be circle, round. So this is
yes, Devasmita will also send the photograph of the symbol, phonetic symbol in the group, that they can understand it better. You have explained it nicely. So we will send it. Yes, dear students, regarding the phonetic symbols, etc., transcription, etc., it's very difficult to have oral discussion. We need some blackboard or paper. So I'll tell you, don't worry about that. We have another 1 or 2 classes on that, and I'll request Devasmita to continue on that. And in that period, she will also discuss on that and show the phonetic symbol how you are using. Thank you. Now I am going to Sadangi sir. Sadangi sir, you have a question. What is accuracy and appropriacy in speaking? Can you please differentiate and with an example?
The meaning of the word itself explains the.
Yes, sir. Still, they need some example. Yeah.
Accurately and appropriately. Let me explain it.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Sir, 1 minute. Sorry for interruption.
Okay.
We have our teacher educator, Mr. Prafulla Gotchayat, with us in YouTube. She has given a very good definition of suggestopedia. She has written, suggestopedia is a method of teaching a foreign language in which students learn quickly by being made to feel relaxed, interested and positive. Thank you, Prafulla Babu. It's a nice discussion. I'll request you also, you can share your ideas while discussion. Thank you very much. Sir, please continue.
Okay. Accuracy and appropriacy. Accuracy, by appropriacy we can understand the general sense of communication. Accuracy comes when we become expert and use the language without making any mistakes. Accuracy and appropriacy. Okay. Language is basically for communication. We may not speak accurately always. Appropriacy is sufficient. It means if it is understood, language is basically for understanding. If we are able to make someone understand what we are saying, appropriacy comes here. Accuracy comes at a later stage when we become expert. We can make things, we can explain things without making any mistakes. That is called accuracy. I hope it is clear.
Okay, yes. Yes, sir. My dear students, I'll request you one thing. As per your as per my request, you have sent me a lot of questions, a lot of doubts on that. I have collected everyone and enlisted everyone, but it is not possible to discuss all the points today because we have only 1 hour with us. So do not worry, I am keeping all the questions you are asking now also. Some people, teachers are asking a lot of questions in YouTube. So yes, it's a good one, but I request you, please send the question beforehand. It is not possible to take the question immediately and discuss it because we have already time fixed for 40 questions. Okay, but don't worry, we'll have another session on that. I am keeping all your questions with me. Thank you. Sir, do you want to say anything more, or should we go to next question?
I think I have made it clear.
Okay, thank
if
you.
necessary,
Sir, you have another, students have another question for you. What is language laboratory? How can we develop it in elementary schools?
Language laboratory. The question is meant for me.
Yes, can you discuss? Or do you want to discuss, or yeah?
Yes. We know what we do in a laboratory. Okay. So for experimental purpose, we use laboratories. A lot of activities are undertaken in a laboratory. In language laboratory, we can experiment language.
Yes.
We can experiment languages means several activities can be undertaken relating to language in a language laboratory. For example, we can help students using dictionary properly, words which spelling is almost the same, but meaning is different. Those things
Yes.
can be discussed in a language language laboratory. Several language related activities, games
Yes.
can also be undertaken in a language laboratory, so that language will become easier,
Thank you,
interesting,
sir.
especially for younger learners, primers.
Yeah,
It will
yeah,
be better. So in every institution there should be a language laboratory. Teachers should take initiative in these activities involving students, so that their learning will be interesting, and they can learn at a short period more things. I hope
Yeah. Yes, yes,
Dr.
sir.
Santosh Parinda is interested to make some.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Actually, sir, Dr. Sadangi sir has also answered very nicely. May I add something more? So,
Yes, sure.
language laboratory, just like also you can find the in science laboratory. Similarly, the language laboratory is also essential for us, for the language, for the development of language. It is a dedicated space for learning of the foreign language by using, that is also your audio and audio visual materials. By that audio and audio visual materials, when the child can use, that means for his for the recitation of the rhymes, or for also to then also sound system, just like also the sound pronunciation of the correct pronunciation of the words,
Correct.
so that a student can also learn better. So immediately he can also recognize which is correct, which is also the accuracy form of the pronunciation of the words. Accordingly, he can also use, so that at the simultaneously the teacher must not act as a supervisor. He can act as a facilitator here, so that the teacher can also judge that whether the student is properly doing or not, and accordingly he can accommodate the devices, that is also audio and audio visual materials, to the students.
Very
Apart
nice,
from
very
that,
nice.
there is also, we can find here, there is also the flashcards, even if also we can find the story cards. So such type of the, even if reading materials, so a soft copy of the reading materials, all types of the both the hard and soft copy materials should be available in the language laboratory, so that it can enhance the it can create the forum for the learners to that is also for the enhancing their language skills. Thank you.
Very nice. So Santosh Sabu, nice elaboration, and thank you, Sadangi sir. One thing I must tell you, my dear students, if you ask me how can we develop that, it is with you. You have learning corner, you have TLM corner, you have mobile with you, you have radio in your schools. So you just jot down all these materials and discuss with, as Santosh Babu said, sir, while discussing with the students, you can use your mobile. That become audio. When you show some videos and ask some questions, that become video, audio visual become. It is very easy to have a language laboratory in the elementary classes. Do not think about the big things. Do with the small things which is available with you and for you. Thank you very much, Santosh Babu. You have another question here.
Thank you,
Santosh Babu, can you please explain what are the distracting elements of silent reading in language? What are the distracting elements? This is a very important question. Can you please explain?
Exactly. So very nice question. And also the silent reading is very much effective than the oral reading or reading aloud. So in silent reading, all of you know that that is also, it is purely without pronouncing the words. We are also just interacting with the text. During that silent reading, so the distracted, that means you should not make any sound. That means that must be noise free. And second thing is also your head or your lip movement. So no head movement, no lip movement, no your eye movement. So just like only the eye and the text coordination should be there, so that you can also interact with the text. So that's why these are the distracted. So for the silent reading, in the silent reading, the most important part is to comprehend the text. So comprehension is important. So for that purpose, if a child comprehend the text, more silent place is important, more noise-free environment is important. For that purpose, the student should not discuss with others. The student should not also gossip with others, so that the student can also read silently. So these are the distracted. The teacher must have the speech, both the teacher and student must have to follow for silent reading, so that it will the more important thing for the child. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. So as you told, one thing is most important. Normally, when students learn or students read, they become a murmuring sound. They just do some murmuring sound. Kariki. That is that should be avoided up. And teacher has a major role there while giving silent reading activity inside the class. The teacher should be very careful of that. This thing can only avoid it in the school classroom, but in your room, in your own home, if you can ask the students that you just pick up the place where you can be comfortable in reading silently.
And
Thank you.
Also, we have to facilitate to the students towards also from the reading aloud towards also the at the upper primary classes or the higher classes, silent reading is more essential. So it is more effective for understanding the text.
Thank you. Debasmita, ma'am, please can you have a small discussion on what is a primer? How is it different from a textbook? This is the question for you. Please elaborate.
Yes, sure, sir. Primer, I feel primer is a bridge to connect the students with the textbook, because textbook is a process of learning where it starts with reading and writing especially, and there is less scope for listening and speaking. So in primer there is ample scope for listening and speaking. It is not in a regular process, or it has in a story form, it may be in a poem, but it is very informal, very much informal. But the textbook is a formal. So it's very easy for the students to acquire the listening and speaking skill before reading and writing, and make them fearless towards learning English.
Yes.
So this is the first step for learning English, and it will help us to develop the listening and speaking skill among students.
Thank you, Debasmita. May I supplement one thing here? That's very simple. If you see the textbook of class 3, see, this is, I can say that it's a mixture of primer and textbook. You have some pre-literacy activities are there.
Yes.
That is basically need for primer. It's a for the beginners, right? As Sadangi sir told you that penmanship, suppose in penmanship is writing. Here, like also when we start a child to speak, right, at that time we need some pictures, we need some cards, all these things, we need some elaboration, all these things. So you can just see some activities are in class 3 book, some is meant for primer and some are for the textbook. Basic thing is primer is always informal learning process, but when we talk of textbook, it should be graded. The LOs, learning outcomes, are given according to learning outcome. The activities are serially given. This is the basic difference. Thank you, Debasmita. There is a question for I'll discuss that. What is writing props? You have asked what is writing props. See, what is prop? Suppose a person is dancing, we need a prop, right? So for writing, if you give some clues, that become the props for the children. So one example is given in the textbook, and that's a beautiful example. Suppose there is a boy Rama. Rama gets up early in the morning. Then what does he do? When does he do? Where does he do? If you see these 3 points and ask the students to write in sentence, not sentence, in word also, what he do? He brushes, like he takes tiffin, he takes bath, these things. What? Then when? At 6:30, at 6:15, at 6, like this. Where? In the bathroom, in the dining table. So you give a proof, or you give a clue to the students that he can understand and make the sentences. That is a very beautiful way of extracting knowledge or opening the mouth and mind of the children. You do not dictate, you just ask the students, you do it, and they will do it very creatively. A teacher should believe that our students are very strong. Always you have to see, do not think that Odia students they cannot understand. Some of the people teachers asked, sir, Odia school le ame kemiti eguda karibu. Are Odia school le karibo na koudi karibo? Odia school lo bahari ki to ame path padhochu aji tame bhi to jai English padhochu na. Don't worry about that. Just have a faith upon your students. They will do it. English medium school le jo pila mane padhuchante
students, but the students must have to rigorously practice and also to develop through the props. So that's why the student can also enhance. So that quality should be developed.
Very simple comparison I can give you here. Yes. The students who are reading in the English medium public school, they all are from the Odia background. Because the environment, the exposure, they are getting more, they are becoming more better in English. So do not worry that students cannot. It is we, it is actually we are the responsible for that. Okay, so thank you. This is called writing props. Now, can I request Mr. Joy Prakash? You have a question on spelling depends mostly on reading. How?
So, let me just interpret the sentence that a spelling supports reading. Spelling supports reading. When we are spelling a word, what happens? Generally, we utter the letters of the word either in our mind or on our lips. It may be on our lips or in our mind. While reading, our eyes recognize the graphic symbols. The graphic symbols. First, what we are spelling? The graphic symbols. And for spelling, recognition of the graphic symbols is most necessary. Suppose, for example, we have already recognized the letters in Odia like O, A, Ko, Kho. We recognize it. In English, we recognized A, B, C, D, etc. But suppose there is a Chinese word, but we don't know what it means because we don't know the graphic symbols, what it means. So, before spelling, recognition is most more important. And while we are speaking or spelling a word, it leads to pronunciation of the words and thus leading to reading of words, phrases, sentence, paragraphs, and the text itself. So, spelling always supports reading. When we start spelling, we start reading. Students who are poor spellers are poor readers. For example, there are some students who fumbles while spelling. For example, here, H-E-R-E, they fumble. They couldn't make the difference between H-E-A-R and H-E-R-E, and thus they fumbles. And in such a case, their reading rate is quite slow. So, error-free spelling leads to faster reading, and thus there is a close relation between spelling and reading. And how can one improve the spelling? But to improve spelling, you have to find your spelling mistakes. Where there are mistakes, you can take the help of somebody, or you can use even the Microsoft Word to check your spelling. Then you have to record the correct spelling in a notebook so that it could be rectified. And later on, you have to review the spelling regularly. when your spelling error is degraded or when it is reduced, you are reading faster, and thus spelling helps in a reading or spelling supports reading. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jai Prakash. In one sentence, I can tell you, my dear students, when we talk of reading, that means you are in a doubt that spelling is mostly related to writing. No, research say that the good readers do not have much wrong spelling. They do not commit mistake in writing. So our eyesight, that's we call it as a VMDT, visual memory. तो when we are talking of ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ visual memory development technique କଥା କହୁଛେ, you have to think that your spelling is mostly related to your eyes and brain. So if you read more and more, see that your spelling will be corrected. मन रख श्रुत लिखन रे बेसी गुडाक आमर स्पेलिंग करेक्शन हुएनी जेते आपण अधिका पढिबे आपनकर रीडिंग हे जोटा मु कहउनी एटा रिसर्च कहउची इंटरनेशनल रिसर्च कहउची
sir, may I add one point here? That is also the reading. Sir, may I add?
Yes.
So that is reading. That means in reading 3 A's are also associated. That is a sound, symbol and sense. So when a reader is also associated these 3 A's, that is sound, symbol and sense, so reading can accelerate towards also the development of the spelling. And spelling, that means spelling is also your pronunciation, correct pronunciation while you are also reading. Correct pronunciation can also accelerate towards also your spelling. So that's why it influences towards also the reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Sadangi sir, can I ask one question? Another question to you. Why should we do content analysis before making a lesson plan? This is a basic question of the people teachers. Normally my people teachers in my institute also ask that, sir, why should we do content analysis? Please explain.
Oh, it is burdensome for them, I think.
Yes, that.
But once they understand the importance of content analysis, they will never feel it burdensome.
Exactly. You can say the benefit of content analysis.
When there is a cricket match, after the match, we analyze what happened, who win the match, who lost the match, why they were defeated, why they win. Similarly, before going to the field, means before delivering a lesson for the teacher, field is classroom. Before delivering a lesson, we must analyze the content which we are going to transmit. I must know what I am going to impart, what I am going to give to my students. If I analyze the content before entering into class, I definitely get some sense about what I am going to give to my students. Teaching has two things, what to teach and how to teach. This what to teach is very important. We know a lot of things relating to how to teach methods, but what to teach is very important. We have contents which are to be transacted. We must know before transacting what to teach. Content analysis is important because it helps us divide the whole text into sense, group, para or SGPs. It also helps us to develop instructional objectives properly. With what objectives we have to transact the class. Similarly, we get the main ideas from each SGP when we analyze the content. The main vocabulary items to be taught are clear to us in content analysis. The structural items or the patterns to be taught are also known to us when we analyze the content. Similarly, the functional grammar which we are going to teach to our students indirectly, inductively maybe, is also known to us when we analyze the content. Last but not the least, it ultimately helps us to develop a suitable lesson plan. If I know what I am going to transact, what I am going to give to my students, I must find the way how to do it through a lesson plan. I hope it is clear.
Thank you, sir. It's a nice elaboration, and I think that my people teachers can understand the importance of content analysis, which will give you.
We are here always.
Yeah, you can just analyze the content. You see what যদি সমুদ্র মন্থন ହେଇଥିଲା ବୋଲି এটা হচ্ছে মন্থন ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରକାର ସମୁଦ୍ର ମନ୍ଥନ ହେଇଥିଲା ସେଇଟା ତମେ ସବୁ ପାଇ ପାରିବ ତମକୁ ଲର୍ନିଂ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ମିଳି ଯିବ ତମକୁ कंटेंट वर्ड मिली ଯିବ कोन स्ट्रक्चर मिली ଯିବ everything you will get from there. So these are the benefits of content analysis. Please, before going to plan a lesson, please do content analysis. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Can we I have another question for you to discuss. Poetry contains emotions, imagination, rhythm and beauty. 4 things. Students have a doubt that how. Can you please explain it?
Okay. In prose, generally, we teach a story. It is interesting for the students. Similarly, in poem, generally, we don't teach a story. Besides stories, we give them a lot of things, especially in elementary level.
Yes.
Teaching a poem is mainly meant for pleasure. The meaning of the poem is not very important. What is important is the emotions, the imagination, the rhythm or the beauty involved in the poem. Small children or young learners, they don't go deep into the philosophy of the poem. They are very much excited with the rhyme, with the rhythm, with the rhyme. They imagine a lot. Emotions are very much liked by them. They like beauty very much. They love the rhythm of the poem, especially if it is basing on the nature. They imagine a lot, much more imagination than what we imagine. They grasp the emotions involved in the poem. The rhyming words, they like very much. The action songs, they dance, they act, and they recall it again and again. The beautiful style of the recitation, the rise and fall in the pitch of the voice of the teacher, the tapping of toes, the clapping, and above all, the attractive voice and action of the teachers attract them a lot. So the meaning of the poem, the intrinsic meaning which is involved in the poem is not very important for the small children. They like the emotions involved in it. They imagine a lot. If we translate it properly in the class, the rhythm is very important for them. They tap, they dance, they act, they like the beauty. Hence, before teaching a poem, the teacher should prepare more so that a musical experience can be provided through creation of a musical atmosphere in the class. Poems are taught not for not just like in the manner of prose. Poem is for enjoyment.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes,
there is emotion, there is rhythm, beauty.
Very nice. Very nice, sir. So can I add one thing to you, sir? Can I add one thing? Yes. Normally, I do not say this. This is a saying that when we teach prose for the mind and teach poetry for the heart. So I have read it. So when we are talking of heart, that means emotion comes, then appreciation comes, then rhythm comes, then beauty comes. And when we talk of beauty, beauty of language and beauty of presentation and beauty of the things, all these things. So teaching prose, I think it's maybe easier than teaching a poetry. So thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, Devasmita. Yes, Devasmita.
So one saying is that poems are not taught; they are caught. That means what you say, it is related to our heart. It is caught by us.
Yeah. एठी गायत्री लिखिचंती रिदिम जदि न थांता पोएम रे जदि न थांता ए रिदिम अछि बेले एटा को पोएम कहा जाउची नहले एटा को प्रोज कहा थांता गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग चंदन गोटे प्रश्न पचारचंती कैन यू एक्सप्लेन देवस्मिता ये जे क्वेश्चन व्हाट इज स्पून फीडिंग ट्रीटमेंट व्हाट इज स्पून फीडिंग ट्रीटमेंट in teaching learning process? Can you explain, please?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
nowadays, if we consider about our parents, if there is an exam for our students, our child, the mother awake first, and he knows the answer of every question in that manner. What the teacher taught, what the teacher write in their copies, he already understand everything. He remember without understanding. He remember everything, and he tries that same thing upon the child. uh, he taught the child in the same way how the teacher write in their copies. He compelled the child to remember everything what is there in their copy and write everything in their examination.
Exactly. Basically, Devasmita, I can supplement here. The mothers of the students who are going to the English medium school, they do a lot of things, lot of activities, lot of home tasks of their children, right? And I think
They are
this
doing
is what
most
the
of the
better.
things.
Yes. Even they also do the activities or
Homework and also
project
project
work.
work.
All the project work they do
Yes.
it. Devasmita's daughter is also reading in an English medium school, KV Mayurbhanj. I'll request Devasmita, do not do these things for her. But I know her daughter is a very smart guy. She cannot give her. Okay, thank you,
He
Devasmita.
teaches me, sir. I never. He teaches me.
Exactly. Thank you. So always learn from your children. I will also request my people teachers, when you are inside the class, you very small kids are sitting before you. Do not think that they are they do not know anything. Just think that they know better than you. Then you can only learn from there. And I always believe on that. I always believe it, and I learn from you. All the
Our
people.
basic purpose is to self-reliance in the purpose of also language skill.
Okay, so thank you, Santosh Babu. There is a question. Thank you, Devasmita. And this is a question I can discuss that. What are the mental barriers for learning English? Yes, this is a beautiful question. Subhasri, thank you very much for asking these questions. One thing I must tell you in one word, that is Anglophobia. I can call it as a Anglophobia. The people teachers in the diets, UTIs and bites, normally they afraid of English. English is different. They have the structure is different. The process of writing is different, and the pronunciation is different. These are the things in your mind creates a phobia in you that, oh my God, is it English? Oh, can I say that? Can I write it? So these are the phobia inside you which will forbid you to go for learning English. Do not worry. That Anglophobia is the enemy of you. That will make you very stupid in English. Please. One thing. Number two is that is your shame. Many a times you think that if I made a mistake, my student or my teachers or my friends will pick it up, and I will be ashamed of it. Do not worry that. Everybody learns in that way. And if you keep your doubts within you, nobody can extract it from you. Please tell your doubts as you are telling now in this Q&A session. Then number three is closed mind. One thing I must tell you, when one of your friends tell very beautifully English beautifully, at that time what you think, oh ye dekhe hoji nahi ki taku ame accept karuna. Please, I have seen this situation in our institute. Please do not do that. Let us be with him or her. ता सहित मिसिक्री काम कर देखिबा तमे सिखि जिवो. This is called a closed mind. The people who are closed mind, they cannot accept others, and who cannot accept others, they cannot learn. I tell you. And the person, we 5 people are sitting before you to discuss. We accept everyone. Even you, when you are also giving the answer, beautiful answer, I am picking it and I am putting your sentence that this guy has told this nicely. In YouTube also. So friends, learn from each other. Another question you have asked, what is the difference between assessment for English or assessment of learning, assessment for learning? Anybody of the panel, can you discuss or I will discuss it? What is the difference between
Assessment-
assessment for learning and assessment of learning? Can you, Santosh Babu,
Yes,
can
yes,
you share?
Hi, yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Please
See,
discuss.
yes, oh, of course. Very good question. That is also your assessment for learning, because all of you till now we are also in the process of assessment. Before that, we are also in the process of examination. So here, the assessment in the assessment process, that means assessment is a part of learning. So in the part of learning, while the assessment, through the assessment, the child can learn. So that is also known as the assessment for learning. But if it is also told as the assessment of learning, that means for the purpose of what the child has acquired, only to know the his progress. That is also that is assessment of learning. But on the basis of assessment for learning, what the child has acquired, and apart from that also we can, on the basis, we can trace out the problems, or we can detect the problems. On the basis of the problems, we can also rectify, or we can also facilitate the learning facilitation for the learners to progress ahead. So that is the assessment for learning. Thank
Very
you.
nice, very nice, very nice. So children or students, please, I must request you that when you are talking of formative assessment, why you do formative assessment?
Yes.
After formative assessment, you pick up the doubts of the students and do accordingly, right? So this is called assessment for learning. But after all your summative examination, what will do? You learn what the child already understood that. So this is the basic difference. You have another, you can have one session upon that, but this is the basic
Yes,
difference.
yes. Definitely,
Assessment
it is
of
one
learning,
session is
assessment
required
of
for
learning.
it.
Yeah. Devasmita, can I ask another question? This is regarding book review. As I know you have taken a class on that. Can you please discuss that? A student has asked, what is the importance of bibliography? What is the importance of bibliography in book review?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. In bibliography, normally we make a list from where we use the data, use the resources, from which area we bring the resources. So, if we find any problem, or if we want to add something, if we want to explain in detail, we follow that resources from the bibliography. It will help us anytime regarding book review.
Thank you, thank you. This much. Basically, when you are reviewing book, you have to see what other person, who are the other person who
Yes.
have reviewed the textbook or have any new ideas, new compliments, new criticism on that. That you can get these ideas from other writers also. That will help you to review the book in a better way. Yes, Devasmita.
One more thing is, if we do any book review on the same topic, if any other books are on that same topic or same subject,
Yes,
we can also
yes.
get resources from that, or
Yes.
on the same writer. If we want any
Okay.
other books, if we
Okay,
read that
I'll-
books, we may get any other ideas.
We have so many questions.
Sir.
It is time now. I'll request Santosh Babu. You have one question.
Yes, sir.
I have one question for you. What is the difference between appreciation and comprehension in language? Normally, we say that appreciation in poem, comprehension
Yes,
in prose.
yes.
Can you please
So comprehension,
discuss?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, this is purely understanding question. Just before you are also discussing about, that is the heart and mind. You are also discussing just before, sir. You. So that is also understanding. Your comprehension means purely understanding. So, and appreciation means that is also your emotion, appreciation of thought, appreciation of emotion, appreciation of feelings, appreciation of word arrangement, appreciation of your tone or melody of your voice. So all these are coming under your appreciation. But in your understanding means how far you have understand the text. For that purpose, we are also asking the varieties of the understanding questions. That is also your local, global, factual, inferential, or referential, or evaluative questions. It is purely we can find understanding in the prose. But in poem case, or also in the recitation of the rhymes, we can find that is also appreciation. How far you appreciate that poem, how far you are appreciating that tone of the voice of the that is also the singer. So that is also appreciation. That means appreciation, understanding accelerate towards the appreciation. So that's why.
It
So
is.
both are also integrated.
Very
And
nice.
but here we give more emphasis upon that given the poem, that is also appreciation. In prose, we are also giving the understanding, that is the comprehension.
Thank you, Santosh Babu. There is also, I'll take one question more here. Many of the people teachers asked this. I'll share that. Is there any difference between recitation and reading? Recitation and reading aloud. Please, friends, one thing remember. When we talk of recitation, that means we are reciting or just telling, expressing the poem
Yes.
with appropriate voice, spontaneity, chunk, pause, all these things having a rhythm, right? But when we are talking of reading aloud or reading the same poem aloud, it comes under VMDT. That means without the text you can recite, but when you read there must be a text. Number two is, even also while seeing a text you can recite. Reading means with the appropriate pronunciation, then pause, then chunk. But when you read the poem with rhythm, that become recitation. अर्थात मु कंचा उड़िया रे जदि कहबी, कविताटे टांगी देल आउ कविताटा को जस्ट पढ़ी देल, धरा जाऊ टुना टुनी भाई भौणी आनिले चाउल चुना, बिरी बाटिले चकुली कले कहिले चटिया अना, जस्ट सीइंग दी टेक्स्ट यू आर रीडिंग. बट से टेक्स्ट को देखिक मु जदि कहबी टुना टुनी भाई भौणी, अर्थात मो रिदम टा को जोड़ी देली, एटा हे जबो रिसिटेशन, राइट. हायर क्लास रे हमें रीडिंग, हाँ यस, रीडिंग अलाउड हायर क्लास रे हमें विशेष करी टेक्स्ट को एते टांगू ना, लोअर क्लास रे टेक्स्ट टांगे कर करू. VMD टा मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट इन लोअर क्लासेस, किंतु हायर क्लास रे हमें कौन करू, रीडिंग करू. काहे कि ना जदि पिलांकर किछि प्रॉब्लम थाए तार सेठी हे जिवो. यस संतोष बाबू, डू यू ऐड एनीथिंग?
Sir, very nicely you have also presented this fact. May I add one thing? That is, recitation is, there is no need of the understanding. It is only for the recitation. It is meant for the enjoyment.
Please.
Just you have also told. And another thing is, in reading, there is understanding is essential. While either you can follow the reading aloud or the silent reading, so you have to also, understanding is essential. But in a case of your recitation, no understanding, enjoyment is important. And also the space, chunk, pause and intonations are essential in reading, but whereas in reading aloud, but in case of your recitation, only the rhythm is important, your voice
Thank
of
you.
melody or tone is important. So this is
therefore one thing I can again also add here, that if you recite a poem well, you will understand half of the poem. Therefore it is said that a poem well recited is half understood, right? So please take care of recitation, appropriate recitation of a poem. So can I request Sadangi sir, can you do you want to say a few words, 5-6 words for our people teachers to grow? Because we'll close this session after 1 minute.
Okay. One thing I must say, all our trainees, don't treat English a foreign language. It is now our language. Don't afraid of it.
It's a second language. It's our second language.
You definitely use it as much as possible. Nowadays you can't live without English. Wherever you
Thank
go,
you, sir.
you will find English.
Thank you,
So,
Dr. Santosh Babu.
like English, love English, learn English.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Any one sentence from Santosh Babu?
Yes, I can also appreciate my learners. You are also very intellectual, so you can carry your build. And but for purpose of your English language, you should not treat as it is a difficult. It is also parallel with other subject. You can feel, you can also create the natural environment in the English language, so you can feel better and also you can learn better. So thank you, my dear students.
Jai Prakash, one sentence, please. Yes, Jai Prakash ji.
Yes, yes. I would like to tell that let's learn English together and defeat the English phobia.
Thank you. Yes, Devasmita, any one sentence from you?
I just say, please focus on listening and speaking. You will be very good English speaker, writer, reader, everything. So focus on listening and speaking good English.
Thank you. So thank you everyone. Thank you my dear panelist. Thank you Sadangi sir for your nice elaboration and giving time for making this such a, this class effective, and I can say it's a proactive class. Thank you Santosh Babu. Beautiful
you,
presentation. Thank you. Thank you Jai Prakash, and thank you Demasmita for your nice presentation also. Thank you all the people teachers who are in this group, but I am sorry that I couldn't complete all the questions, but I tell you, I assure you, I commit before you that we will have another session on this some grammar doubts on grammar, and I will call some other experts also in our Odisha like Chandeshwar Bhai etc., so that you will enjoy your class. Don't worry, if some of the questions have not been attended today, I'll do it in next Q&A session, and it will continue as per your request. Bite Garumaisani is with you, and we will continue this when we will get a chance to discuss with you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you.